But let's continue with cyberspace war coverage with a piece from the Daily Mail. Generation Net, do youngsters prefer virtual lives to real world? Children are often happier with their online lives than they are with reality. A survey has revealed they can be exactly who they want to be, and as soon as something's no longer fun, they can simply hit the quit. The study shows that despite concerns about online safety, 1 in 8 young people is in contact with strangers when on the web and often lies about their appearance, age, and background. Researchers for children's charity Kidscape assessed the online activities of 2,311 to 18-year-olds from across the UK and found that 45% said they were sometimes happier online than in their real lives. The report, Virtual Lives, it is more than a game, it is your life. And again, we did the extra bit of typing and provide you the link to the PDF for this report, Virtual Lives. Lays bare the attitudes of children today to the net and includes revealing insights into how they feel when they are on the web. One told researchers, it's easier to be who you want to be because nobody knows you, and if you don't like the situation, you can just exit and it's over. Another said, you can say anything online. You can talk to people that you don't normally speak to, and you can edit your pictures so you look better. It is as if you are a completely different person. In the flashback to just a few months ago in November of 2010, a huge story from the New York Times, growing up digital, wired for distraction. Perhaps this is a follow-up to a post from a few months ago on Cyberspace War about dead drops, putting USB ports in brick walls and other random places around your urban or suburban landscape. In this case, from PC World, get internet access when your government shuts it down. These days, no popular movement goes without an internet presence of some kind, whether it's organizing on Facebook or spreading the word through Twitter. And as we've seen in Egypt, that means that your internet connection can be the first to go. Whether you're trying to check in with your family, contact friends, or simply spread the word, this article goes through different ways to build some kind of basic network connectivity when you can't rely on your cellular or landline internet connections. Something called mesh networking and several things, again, that I'm not fully versed on. And as we kind of jokingly always cite, I think, the Joe Rogan bit about if you drop us on a desert island, we're never going to be able to create a microphone or internet. So we better make connections, to say the very least. And what a lot of the commenters have on this story is what I put up at the top in parentheses, of course, except if the power goes out, none of these things are going to matter. That's the big equalizer there, isn't it? Unmanned X-47B, Rise of the Machines. A completely pre-programmed unmanned plane is more than just a drone. It's an unmanned combat air system. The X-47B went on its maiden flight and is reputed to refuel in air and land on aircraft carriers. Is it connected to Skynet, too? Alan, writing for cyberspacewar.com, hasn't felt this chill since seeing a cruise missile flying at treetop levels decades ago. Is it instinctive to sense the threat posed by hard metal against mortal flesh? Mail Online in the article, Rise of the Machines, maiden flight of U.S. Navy bat-winged robot stealth bomber that has no need for human pilot. Makes it seem humanity may be riding into the sunset. Slightly smaller than the B-2 stealth bomber, the X-47B carries laser-guided bombs and can fly faster than 500 miles per hour at 40,000 feet. There are also links to videos, and we've discussed last year the mysterious flight of the X-47B, and of course, it won't be the last. I believe we've seen articles about Russia's similar unmanned, unstoppable, unlanding secret space plane. Furthermore, on cyberspacewar.com, we have posts about the space elevator, carbon nanotubes, the new Eiffel Tower, Arthur C. Clarke, Fountains of Paradise, and even, yes, space elevator music. We discussed the idea of a space elevator, I believe, back in the archives of Media Monarchy before we even began cyberspacewar.com. Another interesting background, again, that is a great angle that cyberspacewar.com is bringing you, some of the events of the past. So many of these I'm unfamiliar with before I saw them blasting out, like the 1908 Tunguska blast, the biggest interdimensional cross rip, a mysterious blast more powerful than Hiroshima. Bizarre accounts of this story registering at seismic stations in Europe. And as we threw in the title, a line from Ghostbusters that references the Tunguska blast. History, mystery in the cyberspace war, and Nebraska's 1884 Roswell event. We've got the Phobos mystery, which of course connects to Obama and Hoagland. The Stargate in Iraq. This is something you may have heard folks like Freeman discuss. And here it is here with, again, tons of documentation and links for you to do your own investigating work on this. An exopolitical perspective on the preemptive war against Iraq. And we close out coverage on cyberspace war with a little bit of a rundown on Kevin Mitnick, phone freak, social engineer. Kevin Mitnick gained notoriety following his arrest in early '95 after a nationwide pursuit. People are familiar with Mitnick as a computer hacker who gained unauthorized entry into networks at Sun Microsystems, Nokia, NEC, Fujitsu, Siemens, among others. In 1982, Mitnick first received national attention for breaking into NORAD computers, which helped inspire the 1983 film War Games. The computer hacker turned computer security consultant, however, also had a career as a phone freak and plied his social engineering skills. Phone freaking was in fact Mitnick's first fascination. It's the act of gaining unauthorized access to a telecom network. Blue boxes were often used to gain access. Blue boxes use a 2600 hertz tone to seize control of telephone switches. The caller may then access special switch functions with the usual purpose of making free long-distance phone calls using the tones provided by the blue box. Mitnick alleges Steve Jobs and Wozniak of Apple fame used to make the boxes. More on that CNBC interview and tons of other coverage that, again, is the fascinating areas that we're bringing you, trying to cover all the spectrums of news. And that was all the latest from cyberspacewar.com.